right into the new. Okay, I think we're also live on YouTube now because why the fuck not? I am Jack of Fiber's mom. Good to see you. Yeah, we're gonna be doing this for just a bit, just a little bit. I need to turn on the brain a bit. I just need to boot up a bit, and then I got to record YouTube videos, and then my girlfriend and I are going to a great. There's a birthday bash, not birthday. Jesus Christ, dude! I see. I'm still booting up. There's a Thanksgiving bash, a little party, and I must go. I must run. I must go. But yeah, I need to go live for a bit because I wanted to put another debate thing on my channel because I'm live on YouTube right now. People like the debate stuff. And number two, because I need to get the brain going. If I don't get the brain going like this is a good way to get the brain going, screaming at Trump supporters. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Zoya, Chelsea, what's going on? Carrie, I see, bro, I just commented on your video, big guy. Who's this? Get a new job, brother. All right, I'm on it. Ryan, buddy, I just commented on your video. Okay, what's going on, everybody? We'll let our Trump supporter up. We'll see how long we're live for. Also on YouTube, hello. Hopefully, I fixed the problem on YouTube, where I understand that I think my guests are much louder than me. If I've come to understand that, so hopefully I can watch the YouTube live stream. Lori, girlfriend, do you have a girlfriend? There is a girlfriend. She's a great individual. Many people tell me. Alex, how's your Thanksgiving? Great. How's yours? Alternate title, Talking to Walls. Well, it's not a bad title. It's not a bad one. It's a reasonable one. It's a good one. Okay, here we go. See, this is the only setting. All right, we're going to let up some Trump supporters now. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. Thank you. I hope everybody here had a nice Thanksgiving. It is snowing ballistic in Chicago right now. I think we're on track for like a foot of snow, which is not my forte. There's a lot of snow. It's snowing very hard. I didn't go back to Atlanta. For Thanksgiving, which it's okay. I'm going to go back to Atlanta for the holiday season. It is holiday season. I'm sorry. For Christmas. That's when I'm going to go back. So, but I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Truly. You guys are the best. 351 people in here. That's awesome. Dude, it's snowing crazy. It's going to snow all day. All right. It sounds like this is sped up. I believe that to be a TikTok glitch. I believe it to be. So you might have to scroll in and then scroll out of the live. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know in the comments. I'll bring you up. And we'll do this. Kevin Garcia. Your face is too close on TikTok. Well, my face is close on TikTok. So that's how it is.
Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 20, 2005.
Okay. What can I help you with?
Well, you know what? I wanted to make it a little bit of a challenge for myself, so I wanted to let you choose a topic first on why you think Trump is bad.
Okay. Well, really quickly, what state did you vote in, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I voted in Delaware.
Okay, got it. Hold on, give me 1 second. People in the YouTube chat, let me know how the volume is. Because I know there's been some issues with that. Okay. Anyways, yeah, pick a topic. How about Donald Trump's threats to democracy, like expansion of executive authority and
I think that's all being that's people exaggerating, in my opinion. I mean, you guys say all this fascist stuff. Come on, man. He's not. I don't know if I can say.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Were you on?
Yeah.
Were you on Adam's live last night?
No. I don't even know who that is.
You sure?
Yeah.
Seems like you're lying.
No. Swear on my mom. I don't know.
Okay, because you sound very familiar.
No, I swear on my mom, bro. I don't know. Never been on there.
Okay.
But no, I was saying, I think all that fascist stuff is just an exaggeration.
Okay,
he's not
what about
the mustache man. If our rights are being taken away, we wouldn't be able to go on this app right now and speak badly about our president. That's not fascism.
That's like you should probably that's like the dumbest like outlook on like fascism and rising authoritarianism I've heard in a while. But
Well, then debate it.
what about just like the general like outward corruption we've seen from this like administration?
Every admin has been. So
Yeah.
you're saying the Biden
So-
administration
so-
has never been corrupt?
So
Every administration has corruption.
So stop. That's the definition of a straw man, right? Because that's not what I said. Don't speak, please. And you were on Adam Khan's live last night. That's why I went. That's why I went to here.
No, I wasn't.
You were. Can I ask you?
No,
can I ask you?
I was not.
Can I ask you a genuine question, please?
Yeah.
Okay. When you were on Adam's live last night, you accused.
I wasn't.
Can I speak? If you speak one more time, I'll just kick you. I'm trying to.
All right.
I'm trying to level with you. I'm trying to be like honest. When you were on Adam's live last night, I just happened to be scrolling by, and you accused me because you saw me in the chat. You accused me of talking to underage individuals, and I don't.
No.
And shut up, please, or I'll kick you. Here's the thing: like people joke around and like say shit online and whatever, but then you like cross the line and you say shit like that. Why did you say that? And can you shut up, please, and just let me finish? Why did you say that? And do you have any evidence for that?
You have me mistaken.
Okay.
I don't know who Adam is.
Yeah, you're just
On my mom.
Yeah.
I-
I wish you literally the worst. Again, like people like this are so insufferable. And the Adam I'm referring to, by the way, is Adam Khan. I fucking love Adam Khan. That dude is the GOAT. He's so smart, so brilliant. I learned so much from Adam. He's also hilarious. Adam Khan, dude's the best. He's been on Jubilee. But yeah, no, like I would just happen to be scrolling past that, like Adam's live last night. And like that's the thing is like, you know, people will like see me join the line and be like, oh, Chris this or Harry this or whatever. And like obviously I'm just like, whatever, bro. Like people say crazy shit on the internet, but like then it crosses a line. Then I'm like, just Devisha, hello, how are you? Then it just happens to be that like I'm there and he's like, oh, asking Adam, like, oh, did you hear about what Chris did? And it's like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like that is not cool. It's just like, it's obviously, you know, fucked up to say about me, but it's also just, you know, like just to be like saying shit like that, I don't know, as like a joke. It's not a joke, dude. Like that's really fucked up, you know? It's fucked, super fucked. So, anyways, okay, so hello everybody on YouTube. If again, is the audio, my audio compared to the guest audio okay? He's got me mistaken. All right, bro. No, just go ahead. That sucks for you, I guess. Then it's unlucky. You just head out. Just go ahead and head out. Then, if you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Doxed, someone says. Love your hat. Thanks. I feel like LeBron. GOAT. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Thanks, guys, on YouTube. I appreciate it.
Hello.
Audio's good. Have I been paying attention to Kennesaw State football? Yeah, of course. Hooty hoo, doing good. Hello from the UK. John, appreciate you. All right, what's up, man? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. How old are you?
19.
Okay. Why'd you vote for Trump?
I just thought the last campaign was pretty true.
You good? You good? Hello?
I just don't know if I support.
Yes.
All right, bro. I feel like that's like the beginning of like a horror movie right there. Got a lot of laughing. Didn't love that. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Dude has the giggles. What's up, everybody? Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We're going to be live for a bit here. Oh my God, bro. The snow is going crazy right now in Chi-Town, in Chicago. I don't actually call it Chi-Town, by the way, of course. It's like super cringe. That was kind of the point of the way I said that. Never mind. Wait, Wait, why was KSU mentioned? You live in Georgia. I was born and raised in Atlanta. I went to Kennesaw State University for 2 years. Who do you? And I'm gonna graduate there one day. From there one day. Not today, but I'm gonna come. I'm gonna go back and get my degree. But I ended up taking a break from school, and then social media stuff started happening. So I live in Chicago now. But yeah, Atlanta's always home. Lived in North Georgia for a while. Kennesaw State. It was good times. Good times at West 22. If you know, you know. Yeah, dude. But the snow here is ballistic. It's supposed to be like a foot of snow. Oh, nice. Hootie hoo. Hootie hoo. If you're Kennesaw crazy, that's insane. We love it. We love it. Great, great place. Was I represented by Marjorie Taylor Greene? Well, technically, where I lived in Kennesaw, no, but it was very close. It's like the road that I lived on was like split between Barry Loudermilk, I think, who's the representative next to Marjorie Taylor Greene, and then if you drove down the street, then it became Marjorie Taylor Greene's district. But it's kind of hard to explain. Because like you can go from being in like a very like kind of urban, what you would see as like an urban area, to like a very rural area very fast. What degree? Like how cold is it outside? I don't know. That's a good question. The one and only GOAT is Jordan. I'm sorry. Can't agree with that. Can't agree with that. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to inform you. Wrong. No, hey, thanks for being alive though, but LeBron's a GOAT. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know in the comments. I will bring you up. What college degree? I was studying economics/political science. I'm not a good school student. So I say I was there for 2 years, but when I go back, I'll probably have to do like another 4 years of schooling. But it's fine. I don't have a degree yet, but I'll get one day. Dual major. No, it was like economics was my major, and then I minored in poli sci. But it doesn't matter, dude. I didn't do much. I didn't show up to class much. I'm not a good school student. To my father's dismay, school's a hard one to get Chris to go to. Okay. It's just a tough one. And that's okay. Everybody has their strong suits. I'm kind of off principle determined to go back. But right now I'm focused on the fact that my whole life is politics. So hello.
F Trump, we don't like him.
That's a huge W. It's Nemo. I think that was Nemo in the profile picture. I think it was Nemo. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Okay, listen, dude, I'm sorry to this individual who's saying MAGA. Like, people try to troll, and at least like if you're gonna try to troll, you gotta be like you gotta make your account less obvious, right? Like this dude's name was Big Penis, and he has like 3 followers. Okay, yeah, so I would assume that that person is not a serious individual, right? Okay, if you're an actual MAGA, please let me know in the comments down below. It's easier to bring you up. Why don't we go with this individual here? By the way, to people on YouTube, I'm on TikTok picking guests. If that's why you're like, what is this guy talking about right now? Hello.
Hey, just kick me for now and invite me back. I gotta brush my teeth. My bad.
No,
Bad timing.
It's okay, man. I respect it. You know, don't want to. Honestly, I respect that. Don't want to go outside. You know, smelling like ass. In fact, that reminds me. I gotta get into the dentist. You know, after moving to Chicago, I need a new dentist. And I want to talk to them about Invisalign again, which I've done, but I don't know. My teeth are like the one thing that bother me so bad. I want the most perfect teeth. Okay. Jesus Christ. I appreciate everybody who's here. I love you all. Hello?
What's going on, man?
Not much. How old are you?
19.
19 years old. Okay. What do you think about Trump and how he's doing?
Oh, attack out, sorry. Silence from you.
Dude, I'm so... Bren! Horns up. Horns up. Huge dubs. Huge dubs. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. If you're Trump supporter, let me know. I have no idea what that was, Chad. I'm sorry. I don't know what that was. Hello from the UK. Hello. What's up? What's up, everybody in the YouTube chat? I am on YouTube live as well. My camera's not so zoomed in there, so if you want to check it out, you can. Same username. Link in my bio. That's right, Rick. That's right. Dear Chris, since when have you been active on social media? I'm going to guess that that's a bot, but it might not be. Might not be. Okay, if you're a Trump supporter, let me know in the comments. I will bring you up. Dude, this new Washington Post article is absurd. Donald Trump is like the whole, finding peace with Russia is just like sheer corruption. It's just business. It's just business. Like Donald Trump Jr., Donald Trump Jr.'s friends of Trump are all just like getting rich. And that's how they've crafted this peace deal. It's so crazy. I mean, it's not really crazy. Stunning, not surprising. We're selling out all our allies so Trump and his friends can get rich. It's horrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's a pretty intense article. I just read it. The article, Wall Street Journal, is called, Data, by the way, good to see you. Make Money, Not War, Trump's Real Plan for Peace in Ukraine. It's pretty, exhaustive. It's an exhaustive article, if you will. Kennedy, what's up? How are you? But, I'm trying to find, there's some good, there's some insane stuff in here. Let's see. Donald Trump Jr.'s college friend getting involved, wants to acquire 9.9% of an LNG project with Russia's second largest natural gas provider this has to do with reviving the Nord Stream pipeline. Insane. It's all just a bunch of people getting super rich. And that's how they view this. That's how the administration views. It's just a bunch of business people getting rich and being okay, we'll get peace through getting rich. Listen to this. In October, Zelensky flew to Washington hoping to secure long-range U.S.-made Tomahawk cruise missiles. His military wanted to cripple Russian refineries, pushing Moscow to negotiate on better terms. By the time Zelensky arrived, Trump had spoken to Putin a day earlier, decided not to offer the Tomahawks. Instead, in a private meeting, Witkoff encouraged Ukrainian official Steve Witkoff to try another track. What good was a handful of missiles going to accomplish? Instead, he encouraged Ukraine to ask Trump for a 10-year tariff exemption. It would supercharge their economy, he said. Nice. All right. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Am I okay? Oh, yeah, I'm great. Heather, what's going on? How are you? My Thanksgiving was great. Nice. How was yours? Sorry. Kayla, good to see you. If you are MAGA, let me know in the chat. I'll bring you up. Double tap the screen and maybe share the live. Go a long way. This is the first time I've been, feels really active on the internet in a week. I've kind of been dying. So, it feels good. Not dying. I've just been really tired. So, after my return from España. Yeah, MAGA is scared. Didn't I already let that individual up? Okay. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know who MAGA is here. Are they, though? Are they really, bro? Are you just saying that? Hello? What's up? How old are you?
I'm 45.
Yo, Raven, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Genuinely from the bottom of my heart. That means the world. Can we get some W's for Raven in the chat? I love you. You're the best. Thank you. Truly, truly, truly. I don't take that for granted. I'm sorry. You're how old?
I'm 45.
Okay. What do you think of how Trump's doing?
Well, personally, I don't love everything that he's doing, but it is far better than the alternative. I think we're in a much better position than we would have been if Kamala would have won.
Kamala. So I think that, my first question always is, Donald Trump ran on a host of promises of, the golden age of America, and that he's, the master negotiator who can get everything done. And obviously, I think when we look at his poll numbers, being even more unpopular at this point than he was in his first term, most of it coming from economically. Like we see, the CNN poll, there's a CNN poll, for example, that in October of 2024, it had Trump +9 or +10 on inflation. And that same poll, has him -26 right now. And most other polls, whether it's Fox or, whatever, AP, would have the same, that he's just getting crushed on the economy and inflation because, ran on the golden age and inflation is up, unemployment rate is up, the labor market's really struggling. And kind of a host of other things in relation to that start to stack on top of it, like the fact that he, was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, or the fact that he promised to end the Ukraine war within 24 hours. Regardless, I sometimes find it surprising that it doesn't, was your understanding of Trump's getting in office not that he was going to solve all these problems instantly, or does it not upset you that inflation is obviously not where it should be?
Well, I mean, inflation is still manageable. It's still at the targeted effect of 3%. It's like what, three? I think it's like 3.1 or 3.2 right now, right? I mean, if you look at what we were told was going to happen with the tariffs, that we were going to have scorching high inflation, we haven't seen that. We haven't seen. We've actually seen a decrease in fuel prices, so on and so forth. So the inflation effect. Excuse me.
Definitely not a decrease in fuel prices. I mean, year to date.
What's the average? What's the average cost of fuel in America right now, dude?
I think it's $3.05. Might be
and what was the average? What was the average cost of fuel under the Biden administration?
No, the average cost of fuel 1 year ago today was $3.05. So it actually has remained pretty much unchanged. It's actually very, very slightly ticked up. I just want to point out you're not entitled to your own facts.
Well,
right?
No, my question was, what was the average under the Biden administration?
I have no idea, and I think that's a piss poor.
It was a dollar. It was a dollar. I believe it was $1.35 more on average. Donald Trump's average during his first term was never even went above $3.
That's a terrible way. That's like a terrible way to look at things, right? That's correlation without. Now hold on. Can I speak?
I'm trying.
Can I speak? That's correlation without That's correlation without causation, right? The reason that under Donald Trump for his first term, the average price of gas was so low was because the final year of his administration, COVID shut down the world. Nobody went outside. There was no demand for oil. And then all the suppliers cut their supply for oil. And so you could walk around and get a gallon of gasoline for like $1.60 because a barrel of oil was trading.
Right. And
can I please finish speaking? Jesus fuck.
You're monologuing, dude.
Okay, you're double.
I've literally said like 2 sentences. You've talked the whole time.
That's fantastic. You're double my age. You are. It is possible for you to have a good conversation, like an actual conversation. I'm just trying to say that when you're spitting out in the world that Trump under his first term, it was $1 less. I just think that that's a really bad way to look at things, right? And I think it's not fair to be pumping that much just objective, misleading information onto anybody who is listening, right? So when COVID shuts down the world and a barrel of oil is trading for $0, at some points it was trading for literally $- because there was such a low demand for oil. Obviously, gas is going to be really cheap under Trump. Biden, the opposite happens because demand for oil explodes as people start going outside, but supply is really low. So there's a lot of other factors that go into this. I'm just saying gas prices are up year to date and grocery prices are gas prices are just a tad higher year to date. Grocery prices are certainly up year to date. So inflation is hurting people. Go ahead.
So I would argue for Trump's remaining 9 months in office, that's when the world shut down. We all know why. So to sit here and pretend like in 9 months is going to have a dramatic impact over a 4-year arching term of the Biden administration, there are two things that I would to be fair to reality is to say Trump should not have signed an 18-month term or agreement with Saudi Arabia to reduce oil production. I think that was a bad play on his part. Biden should have done more to realize once the world was turning back on to have somewhat of foresight to say, hey, look, this isn't as bad as we originally had planned. We need to ramp up production. America should have ramped up their own production. We don't use all of our own oil to produce gasoline. I'm fully aware of that. The problem is Biden went to Saudi Arabia and did a fist pump. Trump, they rolled out the carpet. The vast difference on the world stage between Trump and Biden, that you guys want to sit here and pretend like the world is laughing at America currently under the Trump administration. I mean, how much private investment did Biden pull under his entire 4-year term into the United
I have
States?
no idea off the top of my head.
It wasn't even $1 trillion.
Okay.
Okay. So we've already have American companies like Apple. They're producing all of their own glass in Tennessee. Apple is bringing all of that production back to the States. You have car manufacturers. You have there's all kind of industries,
Okay.
and not to mention the tech industries
Oh.
that are doing far better now than they ever would have done under the
Really?
Biden administration. Absolutely.
Yeah. So number one, I think like in the investment standpoint, and I've like I think it's actually. I wonder where. I have a list of this somewhere.
I don't think it's 17 trillion.
Yeah. Well,
That's the
that's what's
thing you're gonna
hilarious.
spew.
Yeah, that's what's hilarious.
I didn't even go there.
Yeah,
dude.
well, I was gonna say
Go ahead.
again, and it's funny that like again, the White House and like the current administration, like you just have to, I don't know, we look at them as like not reliable sources anymore, even you. But yeah, it's like it goes from 9 trillion to 8 trillion to 17 trillion to 20 trillion to 12
Right,
trillion.
right.
And a lot of the money you're referencing is like promised investment that hasn't happened, right? I also think it's important again when we look at like economically what's going on. We're again the slowest pace of hiring this country has seen since 2009, excluding the pandemic. A lot of the companies you're referencing had literal historic amounts of layoffs just last month. Like there is like a squeeze going on, especially in a lot of like amongst the companies you're referencing that the American people are feeling. And so you can say that again, like there's like promised investment or all these things, but again, inflation up. Prices are up. The labor market is getting just effing slaughtered. And he, going back all the way to the original conversation, which is he runs on the promise of the golden age on day one. And that's where most people are calling bullshit. It's worse than it was. So I just don't understand what is the long-term plan here?
Well, I mean, to pretend, I mean, if you look at what we've done even globally, we've had several conflicts that have either been resolved or, slowed down
Name one.
per se. We Israel, Gaza, they
That's
have all the hostages. All
Really?
the
That's been
hostages are
slowed.
back.
That's been slowed down or stopped.
Well, can I finish? Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is under the Biden administration, when the initial conflict had began, we literally didn't get a single hostage, and there were 8 American hostages in Gaza, and the Biden administration didn't get one out until January 19, 2025. That was the first hostage that got released. That was the day before Donald Trump was put into office. That is absolutely 100% fact. It's not even disputable at this point. So that's what I'm saying is you guys sit here and pretend like the world is laughing at us when previously we were giving arms to the Ukraine. We weren't.
Okay.
They weren't buying them. NATO is now currently buying them. He got NATO to
Oh.
increase their
Let's time out. Let's time out. Let's time
Go ahead.
out. Right.
Go ahead.
Again,
Fair.
I'm gonna think the first part about I didn't even understand how we got back for a second to 2019, but the idea here that again like Biden administration and hostages, I think that's like inherently untrue, and I'm about to fact check a lot of that. That's number one.
Sure.
Number two, obviously, like the conflict in Gaza is still going on and being called a genocide by literally every humanitarian group ever, including the top two humanitarian groups in Israel. And while that's going on, as you mentioned, like conflicts, like we're committing other war crimes, like striking, Venezuelan boats against international law and just like eviscerating people for no reason. But I think in that, like you also started mentioning to Ukraine, and that's where I had to like stop because there was too much misinformation overload, which is like
What?
Donald Trump did a complete 180 on Ukraine just 2 or 3 months ago. He's openly selling.
Yeah.
He's selling weapons to Ukraine and allowing them to shoot Tomahawk missiles into Russia. And he's obviously just recently bombed Iran. So when you started speaking about the idea of like the Ukraine war, does it frustrate you that he did a full 180 and his position is significantly closer to I guess Biden's now?
So his initial role, which you guys criticize, which you'll do no matter what he does. There's no, you guys are always going to throw shade. That's just a well-known fact.
No, I'm not. I want to be very clear. I'm not. I don't.
Okay.
I don't. It's not. I'm not debating up here what I like or dislike. Well, I mean, Trump is just probably the worst goddamn American president in history. But I'm debating the premise of I don't understand how you must have such low self-respect to vote.
Whoa, dude, easy.
To vote for some.
Easy.
To vote for somebody, it's not about if I like that, his position 180'd on Ukraine or does this or that. It's that I'm trying to understand from you how you could vote for a guy based on all of these things and then he doesn't do any of them and you still like and defend him. It's very odd. If I voted for Joe Biden and he was like, did things that I disagreed with or 180'd, I'd be upset and I'd be like, I'm not voting for him. I wouldn't
Okay. Were you upset that he pardoned his son after he said repeatedly he wouldn't?
I'm more than happy to talk.
Did that upset you?
Wait, I'm more than happy to talk about that, but
did
can we not pivot from the conversation we're having right now?
Okay, sure.
I'm more than happy to talk about that,
but
I literally
you won't answer my
I
question.
just
Sure,
asked
go
you a
ahead.
question. I'm more than happy to
Okay.
talk about what you're referencing, but can you answer
Sure.
my question first?
Sure. What's your question?
Okay, so we're
I
talking
didn't
like
know there was.
so like his 180 position on Ukraine that doesn't upset you.
I was answering your. So I think he came in. This is what I was saying. He came in. He was being criticized for being hanky panky with Putin, and he came into Russia. You guys criticized him for that. Then he went after that meeting. They went back. He was actually increasing his raids on Ukraine. Trump changed his position from there on. He's like, all right, if you want to fuck around and find out, then fine. You don't want to come to a peace agreement, then fine. This is what we're going to do. And he completely changed his position. That is what changed his position, is because Putin's response to what he was doing and what he was saying. That is what changed. When Trump realized that Putin wasn't going to play nice in the sandbox, he changed his position.
Okay.
Now Ukraine is striking deep into Russia, and it is having a massive effect. He put sanctions on Russia. He did all kinds of things. He completely changed.
Fantastic. And so now this week the peace agreement we hear that's from that's like leaving Ukraine out of the deal and is basically saying is very like generally pro-Russia, which is another flip from Trump. What his administration saying, basically Ukraine should give up all this land that was, has been or even hasn't been at this point conquered by Russia. Give it up and agree to like stop trying to join NATO, stop trying to do all these things. And it's like obviously our European allies are very upset about this peace agreement, understandably so. That was just kind of announced in the last 10 days. So is what made him flip again into that?
You also realize that Ukraine is trying to implement a rule that they can't audit the money that was given to them by the Biden administration as part of the peace deal. No, I'm asking.
No,
sure.
I highly doubt that, and I'd love for you to pull up a source.
Oh, it's in the Washington Post, my
Okay.
guy. This isn't some
Can you pull that up for me?
right wing fucking
Can you pull it?
article. Is the Washington Post? It was about, I think it was 7 days ago
Can you?
that they posted this.
Can you pull that up for me? Can you just give me the name of the article?
It says it's. I just paraphrased it to you. I mean, I'm more than happy to go pull it up for you if you'd like. Sure.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm gonna have to teacup in order to do that. I don't have a computer in front
Yeah,
of me.
that's
so.
fine. I just want the name of the article.
Portion of the peace agreement is that Ukraine
God.
does not want to be audited by they just don't want there to be an audit on the money that America gave them. Do you not see the corruption in that? Like,
No,
if that is not a red flag. To
I literally
it's
can't.
wild.
I can't keep like I can't keep my brain straight because you keep like pivoting from the conversation that I'm like attempting.
We're talking about Ukraine.
Yeah,
What do
but
you mean?
I keep asking you
sure.
very direct questions about and I'm going to pull this up in a second, but I keep asking you very direct
Sure.
questions about like how you feel about this conflict. Trump runs on the
I
idea.
answered it,
Shut
dude.
the fuck up. Trump runs on this idea. Trump runs on this idea that he's that the world is ending because we're too pro-Ukraine. Then he gets in and his position 180. Now we see a peace agreement that seems to 180 from his previous 180. And so like how do you feel about us generally being more pro-Russia as opposed to maybe holding a red line and firing Tomahawk missiles deep into Russia? Do you have a preference on one of those two?
I don't know how we're defending Russia if you're saying that America is defending Russia when we're sending Tomahawk
Wait,
missiles into their infrastructure, dude. How the fuck are we defending Russia if that's our fucking missiles going into their fucking country and we're defending? Like, what kind of fucking not reality are you living in, dude?
I'm referring to the peace agreement that was like in the last 8 days.
And I'm referring to the strikes that America.
How do you feel about the peace agreement? You don't know anything about the peace agreement.
I would love for there to be peace.
Even if the peace agreement is very like pro-Russian and requires Ukraine to give up like a bunch of their land.
So in wars and conflicts, that's the whole point of war and conflict, is if you take land, it is there and you conquer it, it is there's yours to keep. That is why you have conflicts in war, is for land.
Right. Fantastic.
Right?
We got a foreign policy. We have a foreign policy fucking genius up here. The point is that like the United States is taking its European allies and spitting all over them and trashing them.
How?
By allowing Russia to keep land that it fucking took. So again, it's not about that's what war's about. It's the fact that we are taking a century of allyship and pissing it down the drain and aligning ourselves.
Century?
Can you shut up? And aligning ourselves with again somebody who's a war criminal. The Biden administration's position here and aligning with the rest of the Western world was simple. We will come to the negotiating table when you stop throwing Tomahawk missiles through people's apartments and lining up women and children and shooting them in the back of the head. Now, again, very, very anti-American here. We're taking all these allies we've built in Europe and we're saying, don't worry about it. We're going to do our own thing here. We're going to create peace with Russia. We're going to drive a wedge between us and our allies. And that's like a very different position than we've had in general, like, you know, the last 50 years of like American diplomacy. So I'm just asking you if you like that's a major shift. If you know anything about if you've ever opened a history book ever, you understand that that's pretty stunning. So it's like either you like that or you like the idea that like, you know, I don't know, we were like harder on the war criminal and we were aligned with our allies. That's what I've been trying to get to this whole time. I'm just trying to figure out if you were like a man of conviction. Do you believe in anything? Or are you like 45 years old and your wife left you and you're just like miserable?
Wow, dude, that's kind of good attempt on some low-hanging fruit, but like and I would prefer that you know, like, you don't say shit about my wife, or like if you don't know who I am, I would prefer that you have like a genuine conversation. Oh, is this me crying because you're being a child? Like, okay, dude, sure. I thought in debates that you don't, you know, do that kind of shit, but if that's what you want to do, like, fine, dude. Like I don't have a bunch of friends on TikTok that are, you know, a bunch of, like, I sit here and project to women like, oh, we care about how you feel, and then they're out behind closed doors, you know, doing inappropriate shit. So like, if you want to go there, Chris, we can, but like I think it's pretty petty for you to try to do that. But first of all, I am literally saying that we are in a better position now than we were under the Biden administration. We were giving them money. They're now buying weapons. We are now forcing the NATO agreement to pay 5% of their GDP towards their own defense. That is monumental, dude.
Why is that good for us?
Because that means that we're not spending our taxpayers to defend other countries. Countries are being more responsible for their own defense.
Okay, why is that good?
Than for ours. How is that not good?
Why is that good? Why is that better?
Because
why does that put us in a better position? And I want to be clear that like obviously when we talk again, I just don't understand this concept. Like, I actually think from every angle, including national security, we were better off when we weren't like so hard on our allies, and we were, you know, like what makes America inherently has the potential to be actually great is our willingness to like work with countries around the world and our allies. That's what makes us economically dominant. That's what makes us militarily dominant. All of these different things. And now we're spitting on all of those. And you say, oh, it's fine because they have to pay more money, as if you care about. Like this is the reason I asked this question. Donald Trump, you know, signs a big, beautiful bill that adds $3 to $5 trillion in debt-related spending. He's obviously on track to outspend the Biden administration or increase the deficit more than the Biden administration, all these things. I'm just confused because it sounds like in that you have some care of fiscal responsibility, but it's like nothing is fiscally like these things don't make a difference. You being like, oh, Ukraine
Okay,
boosts
can
GDP.
you say on one point, dude, you've made like 5. So could I respond to just one?
Sure, I'm just trying to understand generally like that. That doesn't really like logically make sense to me. What is beneficial?
I
to
know
us?
because you're not logically speaking. So let me break it down for you. If you are making a country pay for their own security instead of making the United States, you guys consistently bitch about us on our military budget, and then when you have a country forced to pay 5% of their GDP so that you don't have to fucking do it and we're not paying for it, I think that's very fiscally responsible.
I don't think it's.
Number
I just
one.
don't
Number
think
two,
we spent that much money. You're acting as if this amount of money was
$250 billion to Ukraine under the Biden
Really?
administration
And how much?
is $250 billion, dude. That's a lot of fucking money.
Right, and can you give me like the general makeup of that money?
What does that even fucking
Is that
mean?
250?
General makeup?
Is that $250 billion of what? Cash?
No, it was all kinds. It was just aid.
Right. So
some of
right,
it was
right,
military. Some
right,
of it was so
right.
they could
So-
pay
so
their
like the
firefighters, their teachers.
right,
They could fund their government.
Right. I just want
It wasn't just
so
all
stop.
defense.
I just want to be clear. The vast majority of the money that you're referencing of the Biden administration was spent in the United States. It actually stayed in the United States. Over 50% of the money that the Biden administration spent on Ukraine stayed in the United States. That's number one. And then when we look at the other portion that was, it related to Ukraine, again, the majority of that as a percentage, not meaning more than 50%, but just if we take, the largest percentage, I should say, of the rest of the money actually in Ukraine was old military equipment or, actual, not necessarily, old military equipment and then military equipment that was just sitting that we essentially
Like Tomahawks
old.
old?
No, I'm saying hold on. A large portion of it was a large portion of it was old military equipment. Then another portion
Like what? Can you give me
Can
an
I
example?
please finish speaking? And then I'm more than happy to answer your questions. And then another portion was, not old, just stockpiles of weaponry. And then another portion was, what did I say? Oh, I said for spending in the United States.
Just give me an example of what you consider old.
Can
Like,
I
simple.
finish speaking? And then another portion of weaponry, and then I think there was like another portion of humanitarian aid, obviously, and that, and then all of that. Then the smallest portion being like actual cash economic assistance. So, before I answer the question you just asked, can we go back a second? How is that fiscally irresponsible if you say $250 billion and most of it is being spent in the United States, and then the next largest portion is stockpiles of weaponry? That doesn't sound fiscally irresponsible to me.
So
That
we're
actually
laundering money. We're laundering our own money to give to a country and then therefore spend it in America. And then that doesn't even fucking make sense, dude.
what?
And then not to even if you're saying that we're spending 100 or 50% of the 250 billion is spent in America, that would mean that we're laundering our own money to therefore make it look like it's fucking foreign aid to another country.
No,
that doesn't even make sense to even a 5-year-old.
It doesn't make sense to you because you clearly know nothing about the.
No, so I'm asking. No, well, if I could finish.
Yeah, I'm going to answer your question because you just don't understand the bills that were signed around Ukraine.
Well, you're
This
not even
isn't-
allowing me to finish the question. But sure, go ahead. Dude.
Yeah, I'm going to just. Okay, I have no idea what happened to my camera there. What the? Oh. I accidentally dragged it. I'm going to just give you the basics of the bill that you clearly never read. It's not some secret. This isn't a secret, right? You've been pumped as a 45-year-old man full of misinformation. But it's not a secret. It's not some money laundering thing, right? We're spending money. We're giving.
I'm just asking.
We're giving.
questions.
Yeah, we're giving a bunch of money as we give away stockpiles of weapons, some of them old, some of them newer, to actually meet military quotas and produce.
Could you give me an example of what those
Hold-
old weapons are?
Okay, I feel like in this question you keep trying to pivot away from the original conversation.
I'm not. You're making the point.
Okay,
and I'm asking what's this
and
old
I'll answer it in
weaponry?
a
What's it
second, but
called?
it's not important because I want
Are
to.
they mortars? Are they
I want to make
bombs?
sure we stay on track. You just asked because you're like
That is on
the
track.
entire
I just
point.
don't
The
know.
entire point of the legislation is that we're spending the vast majority in the United States to actually get to meet military quotas that don't relate to Ukraine, and then to give us better and bigger and better military equipment, which creates American jobs and adds to our GDP. So that's your answer. It's not some.
Right.
It's not some giant
Okay.
secret that we're laundering money. It's that the majority of the bills signed for Ukrainian aid were spent in America.
I was just using your own like ideology and I was just trying to hope that you could kind of like outline the argument, and you still like, and I would really like to know what were the old types of
Wait,
weapons that we
can
just
I?
gave them that we're just sitting in
Hold
some
on,
fucking
hold on,
bunker
hold on.
somewhere that we're
Before,
not using.
please,
Can I finish, dude? Like
you're pivoting
kind
from
of feels like you're crashing out, and you say I'm pivoting when I'm asking you like to define your terms. That's not me pivoting. That's me holding you accountable for the shit you're saying. That's how you debate, dude. As a 45-year-old man, let me teach you how to debate. You're up here every day, all day, but
I'm
I could
rarely
teach you how to do that too, my
I
guy.
rarely debate on TikTok. It's just I just do it for
Right, yeah, right.
you're referencing
Sure, go ahead.
you're referencing other people. I just do this for fun. Most of my time is not
Okay,
spent on TikTok.
I'm having fun. This is great.
Okay. So again, like I just feel like
You're good at that.
I just feel like we're gonna get sidetracked because you were unaware. You thought
They're
all
your statements.
you thought
How are
all
we sidetracking from your statements, my guy?
because I want to bring it back because you want to ask something very hyper specific about what I define as old
about
weaponry.
your statement.
No, I'm happy. I'm happy to dive into that. But my question is, before we go into that, is if we go back a second, and this is fine, this is okay. But you obviously
All right.
clearly were under the impression that $200 billion or whatever was all just essentially piled into Ukraine when you weren't aware that the majority of the money stayed in the United States. So maybe does that change your position?
I mean, that's great. So it's still $125 billion. And if you gave,
Does it not
if you
concern
divided-
you that you just
Let me
learned
finish,
that?
dude. No, I don't think that that's actually true, because even when
Really?
Trump came back into office, Zelensky had said that they are missing $80 billion that they still had not received. So that was another eyebrow raising kind of thing. So we're at 125 billion remaining, with 80 billion that they said that they never got, that we supposedly sent. And now in this new peace treaty, hold on, Ukraine is now saying that they don't want to face an audit. That is part of the peace agreement, according to the Washington Post, that they are missing, or excuse me, that they don't want to face an audit. And if they do, that they can't be held liable, legally liable, as part of a fucking peace treaty. Is that not disturb you?
Yeah.
If that is true, would that bother you?
So two things. I'll answer your question. First of all, speaking of WAPO, from November of 2023, also the Washington Post, you said you don't believe my statement to be true. Ukraine aid's best kept secret. Most of the money stays in the USA. Here's the best kept secret about U.S. military aid to Ukraine. Most of the money is being spent here in the United States. And then it's a long article about how this works and why it's very impressive and why it helps the United States. So
that's great. I do know that. I did know that. I think it is great.
Wait, what? You did know that? But you just touched 2 seconds ago that you didn't know that.
No, I was okay. So what I was doing was I was trying to get you to explain what you were definitionally saying.
Okay.
And so I asked you, and you still haven't answered, what are some of these old weapons? If they're just old weapons and we're giving them, but yet 50% of the money is staying here, but we're just giving them old shit. I'm just trying to get you to think how the fuck that's possible. If most of the money is staying here, but we're giving them old weaponry, just define that for me, dude. And you still can't do that.
I don't know. Okay.
I agree that they're saying that yes, most of the aid
just like
stayed
such.
in America.
There's a name.
I'm just trying to get you to kind of think through the process of what you're saying.
Chat. There's a name for a logical fallacy here. I just don't know, or not logical fallacy. I'm sorry.
Holding you accountable to your statements? That's illogical.
No. There's a name for an argument tactic where we're honing in on a very specific thing. To answer your question, I don't know what the definition of what's old weaponry, but I know for a fact, as I just read to you, is that if we're spending money to meet military quotas, both related to a lot of them, not related to Ukraine, but also replace the weaponry that we've sent. I know for a fact that brand new weaponry we are building with American workers is definitely newer than the weaponry we sent, which is now defined in this context as older.
Right. But if I'm going to make a statement we're using old weaponry, and then I would say oh, Donald Trump's a good president, here's why. If people say shit, you kind of that's kind of how you debate things, is when you say shit oh, we're keeping the money here, and I ask you how, and you can't answer it.
I've told you. Wait, wait, hold on.
That's just you saying shit as a talking point and not knowing what the fuck you're saying.
I've told you 3 times how the money stays here. Right, 3 times.
you have not outlined, like you're just
Okay.
saying because we're building shit. Like,
Yeah,
what are we building? What are we giving them? What are the things?
I'm
What's
gonna
the
let
old
listen.
shit?
I'm more. I think you should read this WAPO article now before because it's already fucking 1 p.m. Can we talk about the fact that Donald Trump is like democracy and ripping apart the Constitution? Can we switch subjects here?
Sure. Can you highlight how he's violated the Constitution? Just one.
Okay, sure.
One thing.
Can we start? Well, okay, sure. How about ignoring federal judges several times?
In what regard? And what did he do? And how did he do that?
Yeah, sure. I think just like generally, first of all, if I may for a second, he's really he's engaged in this hyper politicization of the executive branch that is, frankly, we've never seen before. Obviously, like the government now is functioning in a way that it hasn't in the last 7 decades in American history with unitary.
In what way?
Yeah, with unitary executive theory, right? These 3-letter for the first time ever, Donald Trump, signed a executive order Schedule F and mass fired civil servants at all these different, agencies, the DOJ, the FBI, the CDC, et cetera, and he filled them with loyalists, which, for most of American history, we've seen the executive branch function in a way where these 3-letter agencies are largely independent from the presidency. And now, unitary executive theory, which a lot of very hardline conservatives, frankly, like insane conservatives, have argued that is how the Constitution is intended to be set up, that the president should actually have sole control over these 3-letter agencies. And so Donald Trump has filled these 3-letter agencies with loyalists, and now he wields them to his political benefit. So the DOJ, he tells them what to do. He tells them to go after.
May I?
In a second, he tells them to go after his political opponents. They, go after and attack and indict people. Donald Trump, again, it's unprecedented to see him sign executive orders against, for individuals who he doesn't like, against law firms that he doesn't like, essentially using the levers of government to attack private business that don't align with him politically. And then also in that, a lot of our other agencies, even if it's not the DOJ or the FBI, like, there's a level of corruption here now possible that's never before seen. The SEC will
Possible.
not possible. We've already seen it, right? The SEC will drop people's charges.
Come on, man.
Can you just be quiet for 2 seconds? You're okay. You can listen to someone talk for more
It's
than
been like almost 3 minutes.
Well, congratulations.
Like, it's
You're
been longer than 2 seconds.
okay. Well, you're double my age, so you can listen to someone talk for more than 3 minutes at a time. That's okay. So the SEC can and we've seen this before, and I'm happy to give an example, but, has dropped people's charges or dropped their lawsuits, I should say, because, they were friendly to the Trump administration because they dumped hundreds of millions of dollars into, Trump's cryptocurrency or Trump's, the Trump organization generally. So I think all of that is like a level of like expanding executive authority and the executive branch, in my opinion, being far too large and too powerful. To answer your other question about like him, like ignoring federal judges, I think with this now, we have seen Donald Trump on several occasions, the executive branch kind of just does what it wants. So for example, I think a good example here is him deported, a 2-year-old U.S. citizen was deported, and a Trump-appointed federal judge, we're still kind of waiting on things here because there's a next step. There's a hearing set up, I think, for a few months from now. A Trump-appointed judge said he's incredibly concerned that the Trump administration violated a U.S. citizen's due process. I think the other day, I can pull this up, the DOJ argued in court that, actually admitted in court that the DOJ and the people high up were telling officials to be prepared to, ignore court orders. We've just seen like an all-out assault on the judicial branch. We've seen them, judges in Rhode Island rule to unfreeze federal funding, and the Trump administration just not listen. And then, again, those appointed judges saying you're clearly violating my court order. Never before seen, I think, like an all-out assault and attack on like law in the United States. It's scary.
Would you agree that the DOJ operates under the executive branch?
Yes.
Okay, so if he's and every president has had that same opportunity, right?
No. Because
he's the only president that is the director over the DOJ?
I think every other president in modern American history viewed, I think that, and part of this is because they cared about the Constitution more than themselves, and their lawyers generally there was something called DOJ independence that was generally respected throughout American history, and so obviously obviously the president may appoint somebody at the head of the DOJ, but then like the president would never involve themselves or know anything about what was going on day to day, what the DOJ was investigating, etc., because the goal was to have the DOJ insulated from political pressure, so we don't run into what we're running into now, which is the Department of Justice would never like investigate Donald Trump's son now, right? Because they'd be fired, let go. It's all about loyalty, and that really hurts the American public.
So I'm still waiting for you to highlight like a constitutional crisis that Donald Trump, we just had a 5-minute time.
Sure, constitutional crisis. I think
anything.
him ignoring the judicial branch and his attack on
What is he not ignored? You still have not highlighted something.
Can I finish
Like
speaking?
you're just saying words.
Sure. I think him attacking the judicial branch and ignoring judges is the definition of constitutional crisis. When the executive,
order?
Yeah, But can you just for 2 seconds? How about? Oh my God, it's so impossible.
I mean, it should be so easy.
I already.
You should be able to get one, like boom, right off the jump.
Okay, right off the jump. Donald Trump ignored a court order in Rhode Island on unfreezing federal funding, right? I'm more than happy to pull up those court documents in a second. Okay, I said that twice, like 2 minutes ago. You just don't fucking listen, okay? So that's why I'm just like impossible to talk to you. The point I'm trying to make is that the assault on the judicial branch is the definition of constitutional crisis, right? When the executive branch ignores the judicial branch, what's the point? If the executive branch is enforcing laws against the will of the judicial branch, or just attacking the judicial branch and doing things, and saying, I think we should be able to do this because this judge is hyper-partisan, so just ignore them. It's a definition of constitutional crisis. What's the point of having a constitution if the people who interpret the Constitution, have no say? We might as well just have a Trump Constitution because the executive branch can do whatever they want. They don't have to listen to the Constitution. So that's my answer.
So you're saying that a federal judge that is not elected by the people, which there's only one election that all of
Are
America
you serious?
has
What type of government do we have?
Let me finish. Let me finish. So you're telling me that that a federal judge has more authority over the executive branch to rule and regulate what the president has to do? I believe the Rhode Island case that you're talking about was them about federal funds that were distributed under the executive branch. Therefore, Donald Trump does have executive authority over those funds. That is what you're talking about in Rhode Island.
Are you? Can I just
federal judge? I've asked you 3 times what they were, and you haven't highlighted. You just say Rhode Island. So I'm assuming now, because you can't definitionally tell me what the fuck you're talking about. So I'm assuming that's what happens when you can't define your terms. People have to assume. I've asked you 3 specific times, and you can't give me the example. You're just saying Rhode Island. So what I will do is help you out. If the executive branch has the authority over those funds to designate those funds, a judge cannot overrule the executive branch. That is not how our government functions. A federal judge does not have authority over the executive, dude. It doesn't work that way.
Yo, somebody clip that.
Ahead.
Wait, please clip that. Chat, someone please clip that.
Clip it and then go look it up.
Yeah, okay. Can I quote, the judicial branch doesn't have authority over, that was the most hilarious, okay. So first of all, it's very clear that you have you don't even have the most basic understanding of how our government works, because you say those are federal funds that the executive is in charge of.
You can't define it. Just give me the definition of what you're fucking talking about. It's really simple, but you don't even know the words you're saying. This is like what you were saying about Ukraine earlier. Like, I'm just asking you simple questions that you can't answer.
Can I? Okay.
Somebody clip that.
Just, shh, buddy. You're okay. Let me speak. Okay. The whole court case that we're talking about here, like the executive branch. And the problem is that you say, oh, it's the executive branch's funding. That's not how that works, right? Congress obviously has power of the purse. And so when they pass a bill and, this is when they pass a bill and some amount of funding is in that bill that needs to go somewhere, the executive branch actually does not have the authority to change where that money goes.
You're conflating the argument now, dude. You don't even know what.
Can you explain to me what the judicial branch does? Can you explain to me what the judicial branch does?
It depends on the circuit. It depends on.
Can you
on
just
what the
explain to me
judge
very
would-
broadly, if you were talking to like a 6-year-old, what the point of the judicial branch is?
It depends on. There's.
If
I
you
believe
were
there's
talking
13
to, if
circuits.
you were,
I'm going.
if you, and this is your last chance because I'm actually about done with this conversation. If you were talking to a first grader and it was like, here are the 3 branches of government and what they do, what does the judicial branch do?
I don't even think you're in kindergarten at this point. If you're going to sit here and tell me that the judicial branch has more authority than the executive branch,
I didn't say.
I mean, there's 3 branches of government, and they're all supposed to be equal.
I didn't say that.
But the Supreme Court is one. Then you have the executive, and then you have Congress.
Okay, can you just
right?
explain what the judicial branch does? And that didn't even make any sense. The Supreme.
That's the 3 branches of government.
What are
dude.
the 3
That's
branches of
how
government?
Our democracy functions.
What are the 3 branches
The
of government?
judicial, the executive,
Okay.
and Congress.
And so, okay, which is
Okay.
otherwise known as. Nice, hell yeah, fuck yeah. Can you? So when you say like democracy and like, what does the judicial branch?
We don't live in a democracy. We're not a democracy, my guy.
Really?
No.
What are we?
Where does it say democracy in the Constitution?
Oh my God, chat. Oh
Just
my.
one time.
Oh.
Just show me where it says it. Show me where
It
says
doesn't say democracy in the Constitution.
Oh, okay, so then how the fuck are we a democracy, my guy?
I cannot believe the conversation I'm having. Yeah, so obviously, like, the reason we have actually the judicial branch, this is a really good example. We spend a lot of time arguing, and the Supreme Court does, interpreting the Constitution. That's because all of these things that we've come up with, like, for example, a separation of church and state is in the Constitution. It's not.
Sure.
It obviously. So you agree the separation of church and state is in the Constitution? Right,
Yeah.
right. So it doesn't say that in the Constitution, right? It's not explicitly in there. The whole reason we have spent 200 and whatever years debating this is because nothing is explicitly stated in the Constitution. We all have to infer it. So of course, democracy.
That's in the Federalist Papers.
Of course, democracy isn't in the Constitution. Right? But we understand ourselves to be a democracy. You know, John Adams, who's a founding father, described the United States as a democracy. We are both a democracy and a constitutional republic. It is genuinely, you have to be the dumbest, like you would fail an 8th grade gov class if you think we're not a democracy. We are both a representative democracy and a constitutional republic. It doesn't say a bunch of stuff in the Constitution, but we've inferred it to be true. It's the whole point of the fucking judicial branch. You are a 45-year-old man walking around with like a lukewarm IQ, your head shoved up your ass, and this is why we're going to lose American democracy, because people have no idea what's going on, dude. No fucking idea what's going on. No idea.
This is great.
I've asked like 5 times what the
great.
judicial branch does, and it just like you just can't. You're just like, well, we're not a democracy. We're a representative democracy. Can you define that for me?
Well, if we were a democracy, then we wouldn't have, like, we wouldn't elect the president the way that we do. And the term is slipping my mind currently right now, but the electoral college, we would just do popular vote. We wouldn't. That's why we don't, because that would make us a democracy, and democracy is mob rule. That's how you get to mob rule. And thank God we don't have. I mean, even if we did have the popular vote that elected the president, he would have won that too. Over your dancing queen
We're so fried.
that couldn't even get her way out of a wet paper bag. So I mean,
What do you think about Donald Trump, and his criminal cases? Like, he's obviously a convicted felon. He's been found liable for sexually abusing a woman, liable for defamation.
here we
those
go.
things. I mean, I
I was just waiting for you to bring this one up because it's, once again, low hanging fruit.
Well, I think we've determined that some of the other subjects may be a little above the electoral college, huh? Good one. So what do you think about like Donald Trump like being found liable for sexually abusing a woman?
I mean, any kangaroo court could do such a thing. I mean, Eugene Carroll couldn't remember the time, the date, the place. Even her friend that was supposed to corroborate her story didn't even do it. The dress that she said that she was wearing didn't even come out until almost 2 years after she said that the day that it happened.
So this is a lot of
Sure.
Okay. So
What else would you like me? I mean,
Right.
they couldn't even submit their own evidence. Like, there's so many things, dude.
So
Like,
why-
it's just
before I engage on that garbage, why did a jury of
garbage.
why did a jury of Americans found him liable for sexual abuse? Then?
I mean, go try Joe Biden in Oklahoma and see if you could throw anything.
So
at
then
that
why
man
does
and he
that
would get
so
he
why
would get convicted?
So
like,
why does it? So
hello?
if that's your understanding of how civil court works, why do more people not do it? Like anybody could file that.
What do you mean?
I mean, you say go try Joe Biden right now. Anybody could just file that lawsuit in Oklahoma and have Joe Biden in court for defamation or essay. Why do they? Why do they not do it?
I mean, Tara Reid, his own
Yeah,
staffer at one
correct.
point,
And
right?
and Tara, can you?
Where was that believe all victims?
Yeah, so Tara Reid is
Like-
Tara Reid is currently in Russia, and Joe Biden has said himself he'd really like her to have her day in court, but obviously can't do that. Can't do that in Russia. Got to come back to the United States.
Wonder why she's there.
So,
Wonder
but
why
can you
she's
can
there.
you engage on the point, right? Like you have a misunderstanding of civil. You're not going to engage on the point because you just don't understand. Regardless, I think it's like gross and
Sure.
deeply disgusting to suggest like, first of all, any type of like this is part of why again there was like a whole court case or a whole a civil court case where there's people who were on who were asked questions in front of the jury, like her friend, like her therapist. But obviously very common for victims of such a tragic event to have trouble remembering, for example.
30 years later. Would that not even be harder if it was 30 years later? Like, yeah. I mean, it's pretty well known that people, that are witnesses to, even like simple things like car crashes, they don't even remember. But you want to go try the previous president from a 30-year, which New York had to change the law in order for them to go after him.
No,
And then, if you just are that simple-minded to not see through the weeds on this one, dude, sure, you're right. He's convicted. He's all the things that you say he is, and he's also your president. So,
big strong man here.
yeah.
So what about how he talks to women or about women? Just in the last week we've seen him call women reporters ugly, called one piggy, called one piggy.
Right.
That's the president of the United States. Do you think?
Sure is. I agree. I don't talk to women that way, so it's not something that I personally do, nor would I condone. So I don't think that's appropriate, and I would agree with you. So there's some middle ground we have.
That should be bad. I mean, the bar is in hell for our politicians here. What about him being a convicted felon?
I mean, dude, you got to have better talking points than this. This is all. I mean, 78 million people didn't agree with those 12 people, so I think the numbers don't lie.
I don't care.
I just don't know why you guys keep going to the well on this.
That wasn't my question. I'm just asking you. Just curious.
What?
I'm just curious what you think about him being a convicted felon. I think it's a concern.
I answered you. I said I think 78 million people disagree with that narrative against those 12, and numbers don't lie. That's a direct response to your question.
Okay. Well, you're not really entitled to your own facts. 78 million people can disagree with whatever they want. I'm just he's obviously convicted. I'm just asking.
That is a fact.
I'm just asking you if you care or not that the president is a convicted felon.
I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say that was factually true. So, and I don't think that 78 million other people would agree with that either.
Why is it not factually true?
Why is it not factually true? Well, I mean, once again, you could get any kangaroo court in the country that is going to be biased against a person.
I just want to point out, if you make a claim that, a court case that, a jury of Americans found someone guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, I would expect you to understand even just the basics of this court case like the back of your hand. It should be so obvious that
What was the underlying crime that they charged him with?
Well,
what was it?
They didn't charge him with an underlying crime.
Right, and when has that ever happened before?
It's happened
in this type of a case.
Many times in New York City.
What was
in New York?
You're telling me that people have been prosecuted for a crime that they didn't outline in said trial?
Wait. I do want to be clear. They did outline. The prosecution argued that he violated New York State election law. They argued that in court. In fact, Donald Trump's attorneys won a
That's still only a misdemeanor.
Donald Trump. violating New York State election law is not a misdemeanor, and Donald Trump's own attorneys actually won a motion pre-trial for the prosecution to tell the defense what they were going to argue in court the underlying crime was, and the prosecution
And what was that?
Yeah, I just told you, right? The prosecution argued mainly that he violated New York State election law, and then there's two other.
And what was that crime? Not what they argued. What is the crime that they are arguing, dude? Name the crime. Don't just say words. Name the crime.
The crime.
Mr. Judicial over here that knows everything about that. Outline the fucking crime.
Please shut up, please. Okay. Donald Trump was charged with falsifying business records in the first degree, meaning he falsified business records to take a step to either conceal or commit a larger crime. That has been tried in the state of New York many times and successfully, right? The idea being, and the prosecution mainly arguing, that Donald Trump paid Stormy Daniels $200,000 and wrote it off as a essentially campaign expense to keep her quiet leading up to the 2016 election. That violated New York State election law because it was part of a bigger scheme to engage in what they called a catch and kill scheme, meaning Donald Trump was trying to catch negative stories about him before the election and pay them off and kill them. And so the prosecution actually brought people up in the trial, for example, that were able to testify that Donald Trump and his people before the election, or Donald Trump had a meeting with the newspaper guy, whatever, saying, I want to find more of these stories and make sure they don't come out. And that's a violation of New York State election law. They also said that it's possible Donald Trump did it. He falsified the business records in order to conceal or commit. Can I finish speaking? To take a step to conceal or commit the larger crime of either lying on a campaign finance form or like lying on a tax form. Those were the other two potential underlying crimes. This has been tried many times in New York State. So what is inherently wrong with this?
So they literally, it's a misdemeanor to do that. I don't remember the exact term.
No, it's a misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor to falsify business records. If you falsify business records with the intent to commit or conceal, take a step to commit or conceal a larger crime, that is a felony.
So at this point, even if what you're saying is true, you still have not outlined what the underlying crime is because nobody has. That's why it's still in appeals. That's why Trump got the $85 million fine that
I wish nothing but the worst for you. I mean, what, dude? Talking to a literal wall. Talking to a wall, dude. I'm pretty sure I fucking just spent... The reason I have to monologue, I just want to be clear here. I don't want to monologue. The reason I have to monologue is because I spent fucking so long answering the question, and then he just comes back and asks the same question, and I'm genuinely trying to answer it. So I'm like, okay, I got to reframe this for this guy, and I reframe it, and I go on a whole monologue about what the fuck the crime was, and he comes back and he's like, no one knows the underlying crime. Oh my good God, brother. Bro. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Quesadilla in the YouTube chat. How's guys? It's the TikTok. Yo, there's 1,000 people in here. That is nuts. I love all of you. My TikTok live studio here is lagging, so I hope we look good on the TikTok side of things, though. I lost the debate, my brother. I would not call that a debate. That was something else. That was something else. I can't even, my TikTok live studio over here is like practically frozen. So I can't even really see comments. Oh. Defa lag on TikTok. It's lagging a bit, but it's not bad. Apologies for that. Let me see. Okay. Oh, thanks for the gift. I appreciate you. It's lagging. I thought I was the only one. Oh, man, dude. Why? TikTok Live, why? Some people don't have a lag. Maybe scroll out and scroll back. And also live on YouTube, which I think might be handling things better. If you want to check that out, I don't know, though. Why do they pick the dumbest hills to die on? I know. I'm like, yo, what's going on, everybody in the YouTube chat? It is lagging on YouTube. Uh-oh. That's a bad sign, actually. Is the M2, there we go, lag fixed? No lag, okay. Hopefully the MacBook Pro, the M2 Max over here is sufficient enough. Dude, I'm using like, I don't know, this cannot be a computer thing. There's literally no way. I don't know why that would be. Maybe, actually, no, I think my internet's fine. It's distorting your voice. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's just a TikTok thing. I know YouTube doesn't have that problem, but you can scroll out and scroll back in. Chris is a paid DNC hack. Yep, that's actually right. That's right. Yep. I got on the phone yesterday. It was Hillary Clinton. She said, "Chris, come down to my lair, and I'll give you the check, the monthly check." And I was like, "Hell yeah, Hillary, hell yeah." So went down there. You know, we did some rituals and shit, chanted around torches, and they gave me my monthly paycheck, which this month I think was like, I don't know, it's kind of low. They basically pay me for like time on, but like, I don't know, they're not really accounting for inflation these days caused by Trump, so it just gets hard, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's been good, you know. The DNC pays super good. I like being with Obama and Hillary Clinton in the basement and shit. They're super nice. You know, when I met Joe Biden in the Oval Office, which genuinely actually very grateful I got to be able to do that, you know, for when we took like the photo and stuff. And like, it was like, oh, hey, like, nice to meet you. Like, that was all BS. You know, I've met Joe Biden a million times because when I was like 14 years old, they recruited me. Joe actually knocked on my door. He was like, "Chris, I found you. You have no relation to politics. No one in your family has ever worked in politics, but we think you would be perfect on TikTok," which hasn't come out yet, but you should start. We're going to take you to this basement. So, yeah. I mean, I've known the Bidens for a while because they basically grew me into this. It's just a whole thing. They pay good, though, to answer your question. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, you know, pretty much. God, how's it already 1:35, chat? Damn, okay. We live in a society full of individuals. Okay. Let's do like, it's 1:30. I'm trying to think of time here. Let's do like one more. And then we got to post some. Oh, the snow in Shy is outrageous. Outrageous, Kara. It's actually a lot. And it's supposed to snow for like another 12 hours. I was thinking about actually I got to take a walk. Maybe record like a little TikTok in the snow. Dude, it's actually like snowing really hard outside right now, but it's supposed to be like a foot. All right, if you're a Trump supporter, let me know. I really appreciate all the support today. This has been incredible. It's been fun. Time to turn the brain on. Hayden, what's going on? You know what? Actually, I just realized I just want to talk for a second, and then I'll end off because I said I was going to carry. Thanks so much for the snow, Angel. This has been super fun. People have enjoyed the lives. Part of the reason I did this live, and it was like an hour and a half, 75 degrees in Arizona. My goodness. Part of the reason I went live, turn the brain on. It's been really hard coming back from Spain, I'm not going to lie. Was really grateful to be able to be invited by the European Democrats. I know I've talked about like that, and I posted my panel on YouTube, which was really cool. But it took way more out of me than I thought. I didn't sleep for like 3 days. Basically I was there for 2 nights, 1 full day. And I had 2 travel days that were over 20 hours, like 2 24-hour travel days. The time change, I didn't sleep. And I also got surgery on my nose like 2.5 weeks ago. I think all of these things have culminated into like this week. I did nothing. Like I was trying to do things and I was just I was like tired. Last night I went to bed at 8 p.m. I was like, I can't. And so I haven't been on the internet, I feel like, in a while. Now I'm trying to boot back up. I'm like, gotta get on the grind. What a better way to start than a little TikTok live that will be posted, by the way. If you want to hear this again and watch it, it's going to be on my YouTube channel. I'm live there right now, but it'll stay up on the YouTube channel. But now I've got to go record a couple YouTube videos, post some TikToks, get back in the flow of things. It's Saturday, so I hope everybody has an amazing Saturday. I'm going to post 2 YouTube videos today, a couple TikToks, and we'll be back live tomorrow night, I think. Who wants a live tomorrow? Maybe midday tomorrow? Maybe tomorrow night? Cooking streams, that'd be super fun. I was cooking salmon the other day, cooking it up. But truly, I appreciate all of the support lately. It means the absolute world. Like, I literally can't say it enough. You guys are the effing best. Like, truly. You guys are the best. Yo, Alex, thank you in the YouTube chat. You guys are so kind in the YouTube chat. I love you so much. Thank you for being you. It really means a lot. Salmon, what a great thing. What a great thing, Salmon. All right. Taylor, appreciate you, Jack First Mom, Carrie. Thanks for all the support, everybody. I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to go record some videos, shower, maybe take a walk. Bro, the snow is insane. It's snowing. It's snowing. So, Sean, great to see you. Kara, I love you. You're the best. Wild salmon, that's right. Nice cut of salmon. Don't really eat salmon. Hayden, be safe. Be safe. All right, everybody, we will talk soon. Appreciate all the mods and everybody in here. You guys are literally all the best. And everybody on YouTube, thank you so much. Cooking with Chris, Alex, absolutely. Truly, I never take any of you for granted. I hope you know that. Batman, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Buenos dias, somebody says. TG, I appreciate you. K-Deck, you guys are all truly the best. John, appreciate you. Zoya, you're amazing. Mia, that's the plan. Davisha, always a pleasure. Kayla, thanks for being here. I know Bren's in here. Horns up. Jack and Piper's mom, you're the best. Carrie, happy turkey weekend. Be around, all right, everybody? Much love. Everybody, be safe out there. We will talk soon. Oh, my goodness. Blah, blah, blah.